so nice to
Thanks,
have you
Evans.
all on. Welcome, Carmen, Delise, Mapalo. We've got Njabulo and Fumuzile, Tumelo, Laroto, Lunga. I see Anel is also coming on now, and our Yesha is joining us. Welcome. It's nice to see you all again. Just waiting for a few more learners to hop on, and then I'm going to introduce you to our new tutor for these next few weeks. We are so excited to have her, but before I introduce her, I'm just going to allow some of the learners to hop on. So make yourselves ready. Make sure that you have your pen and your paper with you. For those who's new here, welcome. It's so nice to have you. And for those who has been here, welcome back. Always nice to see familiar faces again. And then you know how it works. If you have any questions, feel free to unmute yourself. If you don't want to unmute yourself, feel free to send a message on the chat. And yeah, let's see some emojis. How are you guys feeling about tonight? Are you excited? A bit worried? Ooh, we've got an open mouth.
Oh, Pumazide's got a nice big smile. That's awesome. Yay!
Very good to see that.
Yes.
Aww.
And Danelle's smiling too, and Jenna. Cool.
Everyone.
Oh, and Katie sent us a hug. That's lovely, Katie. Thank you.
Aww.
And Esther's smiling, and Aisha's smiling. That's really nice to see. I'm also gonna, you guys are inspiring me. I'm also gonna put a big smiley face on there because that's how I'm feeling.
Oh, that makes two of us.
Good.
So I just want to welcome all of you. Like I said, it's so nice to see familiar faces. For all those who hasn't been on here yet, welcome. And then I would like to introduce our let me just add the spotlight so that you can see my face as well. I would like to just introduce you to Lee. She will be helping us to understand fractions a bit better. From what I've heard, she's a very, very good teacher. So I know that you're going to learn so much from her. And not only is she a good teacher, she's very kind and fun as well, okay? So I want you to enjoy the classes with her, ask as many questions as you need. And you know where I'm at. I'm still here. I'm just going to mute myself and stop my video. But afterwards, I'll see you again to share the revision work. Until then, take care. And Lee,
lovely.
Giving it over to you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for that introduction, Elzan. It's really nice to meet all of you tonight, grade 7s. Welcome to our course on fractions. I really hope that you're going to have fun and you're going to enjoy it. That's really important. And please, I want you to interact with me and with one another as much as you possibly can. So this is all about helping you and making things better and easier for you to understand. So please, if you've got questions or if there's anything that I've said that you don't understand and you want me to repeat myself, I have no problem with that at all. Okay, so just unmute your mic or pop something into the chat. But this has got to benefit you. Okay, so that's what I'm trying to do. And then remember at the very end, Elzan didn't mention that, and I'm not sure if somebody else has told you, but I think there's going to be a quiz at the end of this as well. So that'll just be on everything that I've taught you over the next 6 weeks. So each lesson is going to start in the same way, all right? So you probably saw that with your other tutors as well that have taught grade 7 lessons. There's always going to be a do now on the screen. So the idea is that when you log in, Alzan will be here, I'll be here, we'll greet you, and then you get started on the do now. So for every lesson, you're going to have your pens and pencils with you, and you're going to have paper or a book that you can write in. Okay, and then you make sure that you've got that at the beginning of every single lesson, right? I don't think in grade 7 we use calculators. All of this I'm going to do without calculators. So yeah, maybe when you go to grade 8, but I don't think in grade 7 we're supposed to be using them. All right, so the do now is supposed to be really, really easy for everybody to answer, right? So I've chosen some nice colorful things here. Let's get started on this, right? So the strip that I've given you has been divided into 8 equal parts. 5/8 of this strip is red. So how would I write a fraction to describe the part of the strip that's blue? And now can I ask you, what would you write?
Ma'am, ma'am, you'd write 3/8.
That's right, Njabulo. Perfect. All right, so 3/8. Good job. Okay, so 3/8 is going to be blue. Perfect. All right. As far as the next one is concerned, this is all just very easy stuff. Okay, as far as the next one is concerned, what part of this strip is yellow?
3/5.
3/5. Njabulo, do you like maths?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I can see you so confident and willing to answer. That's really, really nice. Okay, so now what part of the strip is going to be red? So in Njabulo, I'm going to let who's that, Trevor?
Okay,
yes,
ma'am.
ma'am. It's 2.
Okay. Trevor, it's 2. So 2
Yes.
out of?
5.
That's it. 2 out of 5. So 2/5. Okay, perfect. Well done. You guys are really clever. I hope I'm going to be able to teach you something this lesson. Okay, so the next big question that I want to ask is, what are fractions? I mean, if you had to explain what a fraction was to somebody who didn't know at all, like if it was somebody that arrived from outer space and we had to explain to them what a fraction is, what would you tell them? What would you say? What would you say, Trevor?
Ma'am, I would say fractions. It's this mathematical activity where you you color in, like if they give you a block and then they divide it and then you can color in then they say, for example, 3 out of 5. It's kind of like dividing but different.
You're quite right. So in other words, you've taken something and you've cut it up into a certain number of bits and pieces. I really like that, Trevor. That's a really good suggestion. A part of a whole number says I agree. That's also a really good explanation. Anybody else got a suggestion to make?
I think fractions are parts of a whole.
Anel, that's lovely. Very, very well put. It is parts of a whole. Certainly is. Okay. And that's exactly what I had hiding under there. Okay, so fractions are parts of a whole, right? But we've got lots of different types of fractions. Okay, so they can be parts of a whole, but then we can also have a whole and then another part of a whole as well. So what kind of fractions do we know that can we think of examples of? What sort of fractions?
Numbers.
Improper fractions.
Improper fractions, good. What else?
Equivalent fractions.
Mixed numbers.
Mixed numbers, someone said that, well done.
Equivalent fractions.
Equivalent fractions, excellent, well done. We're going to talk about equivalent fractions today as well. What about
mixed
decimals?
fractions, ma'am.
Yes, in Jabulo, mixed fractions. Okay, so how is a mixed fraction different to a normal fraction? What does a mixed fraction have that a normal fraction doesn't?
A
Ma'am,
mixed fraction.
A whole.
the denominator is not the same as the number that it's gonna be multiplied or minus or plus by.
Okay. I think what you're referring to there in Jabulo is if you were now starting to do things like adding or subtracting or multiplying or dividing. When we talk about a mixed fraction as opposed to an improper fraction, a mixed fraction has got a whole part and it's also got a fraction part in it. So these are all the different types of fractions that I could think of, grade 7s, right? So there I've got in orange, so common fractions. So we call fractions common fractions when the number at the top is smaller than the number at the bottom. That's a common fraction. What about decimal fractions? Okay, so something like 0,5 or 1,2 or 10,3. Those would all be decimal fractions. Someone said mixed, so I thought of that too. So 3 1/4 is an example of a mixed fraction. One of you also said improper fractions, so I agree. So an improper fraction is different to a common fraction because the number at the top is bigger than the number at the bottom. And then the last kind of fraction that I could think of was a percentage. Have you done percentages at school, grade 7s?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
All right.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
well done. Okay, cool. So what's the difference between a percentage and every other kind of fraction? What does a percentage have to have?
Ma'am, it needs to have a stroke and 2 dots at the top and the bottom.
It does. It certainly does. That's how we would write it. But isn't the number at the bottom always the same number when it comes to a percentage? What does that number
Yes.
at the bottom? What does
It's
that
out of
number at the
100.
bottom have to be?
100.
That's it.
100.
That's it. Okay, so the number at the bottom always has to be out of 100. Okay, so in fact, in Jabulo and anybody else, did you know that there is a hidden 100 hiding here in that line and those 2 dots? Okay, so if you ever get confused over here, all right, so this line over there, this one here, that becomes your 1. That 0 over there becomes that, and that one over there becomes this one. So you never ever have to be confused. All right, so 25%, straight away we know that it means 25 out of 100. Okay, so those are all the different kinds of fractions that I could think of. Something else I'd like to ask you is we've got special names for the numbers that go at the top and the numbers that go at the bottom. Okay, so what do we call, we're going to talk about this one over here. What do we call the number at the bottom?
Ma'am, it's called
Numerator.
Denominator. Denominator.
It's the denominator. Okay, so 100%. So we call the number at the bottom, we call it the denominator. Quite right. Not that you need to be able to spell this, but there we go. It's called the denominator. Well done, guys. And what does that tell us about the fraction? What information does that give us? Does anybody know? Oh, good. I'm so glad because you guys are so good with this. All right. So what the denominator tells us about the fraction, grade 7s, is it tells us how many pieces the whole has been cut into. Okay. So it tells us how many pieces the whole was cut into. All right, so if we go back to the very beginning, all right, and you guys whizzed through these, let's just go up to the top over here. All right. So, Trevor, I think you gave me this answer 3 out of 5. Okay, so without even knowing it, well, without being able to say it, you actually knew what the answer was. If we look at this 3 out of 5, how many parts has the whole been cut into? It's been cut into 5
3
equal.
parts.
The whole has been cut
Oh,
into
5 parts.
5 parts. That's quite right. See, there's the first, the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth. Okay, and that's why 5 goes at the bottom and it's the denominator. All right. The number at the top, we're going to talk about that now. Someone said it earlier. What do we call this number at the top?
Numerator.
The numerator. Absolutely. So let's go back down here. Okay. And let's get some purple going on. And where's purple? There it is. Okay, so we call the number at the top. You said numerator, and you're all 100% correct. Now, the important question, what does the numerator tell us about the fraction?
Ma'am, it's part of pieces
It's
of a
different
whole.
to the denominator.
Ma'am,
Okay,
it
it
tells
is.
us the number of fractions that have been colored or counted.
Absolutely. All right. That's a really, really good explanation. All right. So it tells us the number of pieces that we are working with. Okay. In a particular question. Okay. So it's the number of pieces. So it's the number of pieces we are working with. Okay, and that's really important for us to understand that. Okay, so the difference between the numerator and the denominator, and it's always like this, grade 7s. The numerator will always be at the top, and it will always be the number of pieces we're working with. The denominator will always be at the bottom, and it will always tell us how many pieces our whole has been cut into. So again, if we just go back up to the top quickly before we carry on with what we're going to do, if we have a look at this thing over here that we started off with. Okay, so we said that our whole was cut into 5 equal pieces. When we said that the strip was yellow, we counted that there were 3 yellow blocks, and that's why we had 3 at the top. Okay, because that's how many we were working with. Right? Then when we changed our perspective and we said, well, now we want to work with the red pieces, how many of the 5 are red? We said that there were 2 of them. Okay, and that's why this changed to a 2. Okay, the denominator stayed the same because the whole was still cut into 5 pieces. How do you feel? Does that sound good? Does it sound right? Everybody happy? You can give me some emojis.
Yes, ma'am.
Sure.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Any questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay. All right. So if there's anything that I've said that you want to know a little bit more about, then you just stop me. Okay. So I just found some more examples of proper fractions, improper fractions. Do you know what the difference is between proper and improper?
Proper fractions means the denominator is always bigger than the numerator, and improper fractions means the numerator is bigger than the denominator.
Pumzile, that was beautifully put. Well done, 100%. Okay, so we call fractions proper fractions, just as you said. Okay, when the numerator is smaller than the denominator, and when the numerator is bigger than the denominator, then we call them improper fractions. Okay, and then mixed numbers or mixed fractions means we've got wholes and then parts of a whole. The other thing that I think is also really important to mention at this point is if we take this 3 and a 5th, can everybody see the yellow? I'm always not sure if yellow is the right color to write with. Can you see the yellow, grade 7?
No,
Yes, ma'am.
ma'am.
No,
Yes,
okay.
ma'am.
All right. Okay, then let me get rid of that. My apologies. I know that yellow is one of those colors we should sort of try and stay away from. Let's make it something a little bit darker. Okay, let's go with purple again. All right, so if I write 3 and 1 over 5, what does that actually mean? What have I got? How much have I got?
3 holes in 1/5.
Exactly. So 3 holes and 1/5. Okay, so this is actually the way that it's been written over here. It actually means this. It means 3 whole bits plus 1/5 of the next. Okay, and that's really important for us to know, especially when we go into grade 8 and we're going to have to start working with these. Well, mind you, even in this course, we're going to need to know that. All right. Now, one of you had said to me at the beginning that one of the kinds of fractions that we could get were equivalent fractions. And that is 100% correct. That is something that I want us to talk about. So when we say fractions are equivalent, what does the word equivalent mean to us?
Equal.
Ma'am,
They're equal to each other.
Okay, so
You
in
have to-
other words, say again.
Ma'am,
Mm-hmm.
ma'am, I was saying that you have to find a number that can be divided or multiplied by those two numbers.
Absolutely. So if you want to make it into an equivalent fraction, all right, so let's say I want to make 2 out of 3 into an equivalent fraction. And I decide that my equivalent fraction is going to have a denominator of 9. What would I have to do to go from 3 at the bottom in the denominator to 9 in the bottom? How would I go from the one to the next? I have to multiply.
Ma'am, let me check what number can be times by 3 to get 9.
Exactly. That's quite right. Mapalo, you said 3 times 3, and that's perfectly correct. Okay, so you're both 100% right. So you'd start with 3, you'd multiply it by 3, and you'd get 9. And as it goes with fractions, what you do to the bottom?
You do on
You
the
have-
top.
You do on the top. Absolutely. Well done. So we've got to do that. Exactly. All right. So I have to times by 3 at the top as well. Okay. Well done. Yes, Mapalo, it would be 6 out of 9. Okay. Since you guys are so clever, let's try one more together before I let you try a couple of these. And let me make it something that's, I don't know, maybe this isn't too difficult for you guys. Let me do this. I'm going to put 12 at the top. Who can tell me what should go into the denominator of my equivalent fraction?
16, ma'am.
You guys are too clever. Well done. Okay, so you saw over here that we had times by 4. So you said, all right, well, we need to do the same thing at the bottom, and then we would have to have 16 here. Okay, so you understand equivalent fractions really, really well, which is really nice to see. Okay, so now I've done so much talking. Let me give you a little bit of practice. Now, I don't want this to feel overwhelming. You don't have to do everything, okay? But let's just see how many you can do in 2 minutes. Okay, so I'm going to be quiet for a little bit. You're going to fill this in. Do you want me to do the first one as an example?
No, ma'am.
No, you know what to do? All right. So let's see how many you can fill in 2 minutes. Okay, off you go. And if you're stuck or confused or you want to ask me something, then just unmute your mic or pop something into the chat, okay? Wow, Theo, you've done all of them.
Yes, ma'am.
Done,
Wow,
ma'am.
that's amazing, Theo.
Thank you, ma'am.
Ma'am, but I
Okay.
can't see number 6 and 10.
Okay. I'm sorry. You know what I'm going to do? There we go. Let's just make it a little bit smaller. Hopefully then everybody can see. Can you see that okay?
Yes,
Is that all
ma'am.
right, everyone? Okay. There we go. Okay, you also done, Trevor. Good job.
Yes, ma'am.
Good. Okay, so what I'm going to do, done. Okay, Kamano, well done. So I think what I'd like to do here is give everybody, and Pumzila, you also done, well done, is give everybody a chance to give an answer. Okay, and then we can move on to the next thing. Okay, so there we go. Our 2 minutes is up. If you didn't finish all of them, it's not the end of the world. Don't worry. As long as the ones that you did, if you got them right, then that's really, really nice. Okay, so now I am going to call on different people if that's okay. If you can't unmute your mic or you don't want to, you're welcome to pop an answer in the chat. Please don't be shy. Even if you don't get something right, no one's here to judge you, okay? We're all here to learn and to work nicely with each other. There's not going to be any nastiness or fighting or anything like that, okay? And if I don't mind, if you make a mistake, it's right, it's fine. We just fix it, okay? All right, so Theo, I'm going to ask you, what did you have in number 1 at the bottom?
25.
I agree. 25, Theo says. Well done, Theo. Okay, Kamano, what did you have in the bottom in number 2?
20, ma'am.
Excellent, Kamano. Very good. All right, Aisha, what did you have in the top in number 3?
I got 4.
Beautiful. Well done, grade 7s. This is really, really nice work. Okay, so Neo, what did you have in number 4 at the top? Don't know if Neo can hear me. Neo? Okay, never mind. Maybe Neo can't hear us at the moment. Baja, what did you have at the top in number 4?
I got 3.
3 at the top over here. Okay, when you went, you were quite right. In other words, when you went from 7 to 21, you times by 3. Then when you go from 6 to this block over here, you've also got to times by 3. So the number at the top here has got to be 18. Okay, Baja, does that make sense?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right. Lunga, you are next. What did you have over here in the empty block in number 5, Lunga? Maybe Lunga can't hear me. What about Jenna? Jenna Williams, what did you have in this block over here, Jenna?
I did not complete number 5.
You didn't complete number 5. That's okay. You didn't get that far. Do you want to do it together with me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so Jenna, this one is a little bit different to the others, okay, because now the block that's missing is on the left-hand side, okay? So Jenna, when you go from 3 to 9, what did you divide by? So if you start with 9 and you divide 9 by a number and you get an answer of 3, what number goes in the block? Can anybody help Jenna? What number's got to go in the block?
3.
Three's got,
Four,
three's
ma'am.
got to go in the block. That's right. Okay, and the reason for that is because 3 times itself gives us 9. Okay, so Jenna, when we went in number 5 from the 9 to the 3, we had to divide by 3. So what we do at the top, we do at the bottom. Okay, so we've got to divide by 3 at the bottom as well. Okay, so that means that the number that should have got into the block here in number 5, Kamano, what did you have? 4, I agree. Okay, that's what I would have written there as well. Okay, let's see who else we can ask to help us. Katie, number 6 is all yours. Katie, what did you write in the empty block in number 6? Oh, Katie, you typed your answer. You said 10. Okay, good, Katie, 100%. Do I agree with you? Hang on a second. No, hang on. Unfortunately not. Can anybody help Katie?
It's 20.
It should be 20. Okay, Katie, no stress. The reason why it's got to be 20 is because when we went from 2 to 8, what did we times by? We times by?
4.
Indeed. Okay, so if we times by 4 at the top, we've got to times by 4 at the bottom. Okay, let's have a look at the other ones on the side over here. We'll ask some other people. I don't know how far you guys got, but let's just see what happens. Okay, Wandile, did you manage to do number 11? Oh, lovely. Okay, so what did you get in the missing block in number 11, Wandile? You got 21. Very good. Well done. Excellent. Okay, so we times by 7 at the top, so we must times by 7 at the bottom. Excellent. Priscilla, the next one belongs to you in number 12. What needs to go in the block at the top? What did you get, Priscilla? If you didn't get it, Priscilla, it's not the end of the world. You can tell us, and then someone can help us.
5.
Tumelo, 5. Okay, there we go. Sorry, I just didn't give you enough chance to answer. Well done, 100%. Okay, so that would have been 5. Really, really good. Okay, Tumelo, I'm going to ask you to do number 13. Tumelo,
Yes, ma'am.
can you answer the next one for us? Can you tell us what goes in the block in number 13?
It's 4.
It's 4. Well done, Tumelo. Perfect. Good job. Okay, let's see who else I haven't spoken to yet. Stembiso.
Yes, ma'am.
Stembiso, can you do number 14?
I haven't figured that one out, ma'am.
That's okay. Let's do it together then, Stembiso. All right. So you are going to go from 9 at the bottom to 18. What are you timesing by, Stembiso?
Times 2.
Exactly. Well done. So what you got to times by at the top?
Times 2. Which
Times
equals
2.
to 12.
It does indeed. Okay, that's very well done. All right, we're nearly there. Okay, Trevor, what did you have in number 15?
50, ma'am.
You had 50.
Yes.
Okay,
50.
so you, that's right, because you times by 10 at the top and 10 at the bottom. That's perfect. That's wonderful. Well done. All right, and then I don't know, Wandile, have I called on you? Can't remember.
Ma'am.
Wandile, what would you multiply by in number 16? What needs to go in our block? Can anybody help Wandile? What needs to go in our block here?
33.
Indeed. Okay, Mapalo, that's good. Well done. It needs to be 33. Because at the top here, we multiplied by 11. So that means at the bottom, we've got to multiply by 11 as well. Okay, lovely. Is there anybody who got 16 out of 16?
Me, ma'am.
Yes,
Good
ma'am.
job. Excellent. Well done. All right. Good, Anel. That's very nice. Well done. Mapalo, is that you saying it's me too? Or do you want to ask a question?
No further questions, ma'am.
Oh, okay. All right. Well done, grade 7s. That's really, really good. Okay, so let's move on now and let's talk about turning mixed numbers into improper fractions. And the reason that I am focusing on this is because this is really important for you for next year when you go into grade 8. Okay, so this is something that I want us to be able to focus on. Does anybody know how to turn a mixed number into an improper fraction? Using this one as an example. Do you know what you need to do?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I don't know who said, okay, so I'm not sure who is talking to me right now. I'm going to call on somebody. I'm going to ask Trevor. Do you know how to do this?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so what would we do here, Trevor?
Ma'am,
Mm.
we okay, ma'am, we can say 1 times by 6 divided by 5. No,
Almost.
wait, ma'am, we can say ma'am, we can say 1 plus by 6 minus by 5.
Well done, Trevor. Okay, almost. Okay, so what we have to do here, don't worry. Katie says she's also not sure. What do we do?
You times the 1 by the 6 and then you add 5.
There we go. Okay, that's 100% correct. Okay, so you start with the denominator and you multiply the denominator with the whole number. And then you have to add the number at the top. Okay, so you say 6 times 1, then you have to plus 5, and you've got to keep it all over 6. Okay, so remember, have you guys done order of operations and BODMAS? So we have to do multiplying before we do adding?
Yes, ma'am.
You've done that at school? Okay. So we have to say 6 times 1 first. That gives us 6. 6 plus 5 gives us 11. Good. Well done, Mapalo. And we've got to keep that over 6. Okay, because the number of parts that we cut the denominator or cut the whole into stays the same. Okay, so now we've got 11 sixths. Katie, how does that feel to you? Have you seen that before? Do you want to try the next one, Katie? You haven't seen it? That's fine. Why don't you try this one? 1 3 over 8.
Ma'am, can I see the answer, ma'am?
You certainly can.
It's 11, ma'am.
Okay, so where's the 11 going to go?
It's going to be 11 over 8, ma'am.
That's quite right. Okay, so what we've done here is we've said 8 times 1 plus 3. That's where you got the 11 from. and we put that over 8. Okay, good job. Well done. All right, let's have a look at the very last one, and then you guys can try some as well. Okay. Katie, are you feeling confident? Do you want to try this one? Okay, where must I put 16? Katie? And why 16? Where did you get the 16 from? That's the answer. You mean my final answer? Oh, and then here I forgot to write 11 over 3. Okay, I'm not sure where you're getting the 16 from, Katie. Can you maybe explain that to me? Okay, all right. So unfortunately, you've multiplied the two wrong things together. Okay, sorry, Katie. You've got to multiply the denominator. So the denominator is 10 with the whole number. Okay, so in this case, the whole number is 2. Then you have to add the numerator, and you keep that all over the same denominator, which is 10. Okay, so this would actually leave us with 23 over 10. So 10 times 2 is 20, plus 3 is 23, and we would leave it over the 10. How do we feel? Is this thumbs up, thumbs down? Is this easy?
It's easy.
Easy, ma'am.
It's easy. Okay. All right. We're going to move on to things that are a little bit more difficult in the coming weeks, but this is an important skill for us to be able to have. I just want to ask Elzan, how long is our lesson with the grade 7s? Are we finished in 45 minutes or we finished in an hour?
We have an hour, full hour,
Oh.
but normally we ended in 45 minutes, and then we just went through the homework.
Oh, okay. Can I let them just practice this a little bit?
Yes, of course you can.
Is that all right? Okay. All right. Perfect. Okay, so let's just, we'll just do something like what we did before, where we tried to do as many as we possibly could. Oh, is that too long for you, Mapulo? All right, well, I tell you what, let's just choose a couple of questions, all right? So I only want you to do 3, all right? So I want you to do, please, 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 will you do question number 5? Please, will you do question number 7? And please, will you do question number 8? Okay, and then we'll leave it there. So I want you to take those mixed numbers and turn them into improper fractions. Okay, ready, steady, go. You can't see it. Okay, Katie, let's make it bigger. Is that better?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right. So 5 and 6 and 8. Ready, steady, go.
Done, ma'am.
Wow, that was super quick. Well done. Oh, no, I said 8, didn't I? Not 6. Well done, Theo.
Ma'am, should we do more?
Done, ma'am. Done, ma'am. Done, ma'am.
I would like us to do more, but I'm also mindful of the fact that, you know, it is 6:45 and it is starting to get late. So we can always practice this a little bit more the next time. Good, well done. I'm glad that you're done. All right, so let me ask you guys for some answers. Wandile, what did you get for number 5? What did you write? Okay, so that's the numerator. We've got to have a denominator as well. So the 10 is at the top, and what was at the bottom, Wandile? 3. Well done. Okay, so the answer is 10 over 3. Okay, good job. Theo, what did you get for number 7?
13 over 6.
13 over 6 is brilliant, Theo. Well done. Good work. And now let's ask you, what did you get for number 8?
I got 9 over 2.
Excellent. Okay, well done. That's really great work, grade 7s. Can I say number 8? Oh, sorry, Kamano. I didn't see your message until after I'd already asked Anel to do it. I'll ask you next time, okay, Kamano?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you remind me, and then you will definitely go first the next time. Okay, well, unfortunately, we have to call it a day there. I'll see you guys again on Thursday. And I think Elzan just wants to talk to you a little bit about homework and what needs to be done on the app, etc., etc. But well done on all your hard work today. It was really lovely meeting all of you. I had lots of fun in this lesson, and I hope you did too.
Enjoy your evening, ma'am.
Thank you, you too.
Thank you
Enjoy
so
evening,
much,
ma'am.
Lee.
Thank you, you too.
I hope you have a good evening, and we're looking
Bye.
forward to seeing you again on Thursday. Okay,
Wonderful.
guys. So how was that for you?
Bye, ma'am.
Was it good? Can I see some? Bye, Lee. Take care.
Good,
Can I
ma'am.
see some emojis? We've got some hearts and hugs.
Thank you. That's so nice. And there's some clapping hands for all the wonderful work that you did this lesson, grade 7s. Oh, wow. Mapalo, that's really clever. Is that an owl? Cool. Thanks, Katie. Thanks, Theo. Thanks, Baja.
Awesome, guys.
Now.
Thank you so much for sharing. You can continue with your emojis while I'm just gonna present the screen to you. We've got some brain work from Stembiso. You guys are very creative. So I just want to congratulate you because you just finished your first lesson of fractions. So give yourself a hand. You did such good jobs today. Thank you so much for your participation. And yeah, I really hope that this was a good lesson for you. But you know, it doesn't end with one lesson. We need to practice, 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 hey? So Lee, I think you might just need to help me on this one. Is it common fractions, right?
Yes, yes, that's correct.
Okay.
So they would go into common fractions.
Ma'am,
Yes.
I mean, common fractions, I mostly did all of the work.
Have you done all the work already?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Awesome.
ma'am.
Well, for the work that you haven't done yet in common fractions, try to complete that then. But if you have done the work, then well done.
You could even try and do the decimal fractions if you wanted to then. There's no problem with that. The more you can do for yourself, the better.
Exactly.
Also did that.
Oh, wow.
I'm excited to see our leaderboard next week, eh?
I did most of them when I was on my holidays.
Oh, wow, Stimbiso.
Lee,
And
you should see these grade 7s. They are very, very, very amazing when it comes to doing their work.
That is wonderful. That's why they're so good, because I didn't even teach them anything. They didn't know this lesson. They were so super hot. It's amazing.
Now we know why.
We do.
And then so grade 7s, you go into your Watobi app and you click onto common fractions, or you can go and search common fractions in your search bar, and then it will give you equivalent fractions. So Lee, I just want to make sure, is it all of these lessons?
No, they wouldn't be able to do everything. What would be nice for them to be able to do, if it's not too much work, is for them to do the equivalent fraction models and then writing mixed numbers as improper fractions.
Okay, perfect. So then it would be the second one.
So the second one, and then if possible, they can also do the third one as well, where it says write mixed numbers as improper fractions, please.
Perfect. Okay, so I hope you guys got it. So after you go into equivalent fractions, then the second one, equivalent fraction models, and write mixed numbers as improper fractions. So that's your revision before our next class. Okay.
Yes.
Awesome. So guys, that's it from us. Thank you so much for being here. All the best with the rest of your week. We'll think of you and we're looking forward to see you again on Thursday.
Yes,
You too,
wonderful. Okay, thank you, grade 7. So lovely to meet you. Have a good week.
Take
Have a good
care.
week to you, ma'am.
Okay. Bye.
Enjoy your evenings.
You too. You too. Bye.
Bye-bye.